Hi, many people have asked both Scott and myself about our cancer journey. Wow, in some ways it feels like it was just a lifetime ago. In other ways, it feels like it was just yesterday. Many people ask us, how did I find out I had cancer? Well, you see, I had gone for a routine mammogram in December 2007, and I got a call that there was some suspicious activity going on, but nothing to worry about. But why don't you come back in about 6 months and have another one? I didn't really think much of it, but 6 months turned into 9 months and I was back in there. Now, after you get a mammogram, you wait in the waiting room for just a minute to make sure that your pictures are totally clear. Actually, they called me back for some more pictures, and I remember when I walked in for the retake, I could see all these arrows pointing in different spots on the x-ray, and I remember thinking, that's not a good thing. But again, I just kind of swished it away and, I'll just get this mammogram done. All right, well, anyway, that was on a Thursday. And that next day, we went on a fun vacation up to the Pacific Northwest with my parents. We had our little boys, Cole, who was 5, Kate, who was 3, along with us. And we settled down into our hotel once we got there, and they were watching some cartoons, and my phone rang. And I saw it was my doctor's office, and I thought, that's strange. So I picked up the phone, and it was actually my doctor, Amy Owen. And she started off by saying, "Are you sitting down?" And I was like, yes. And Scott sat right next to me. And then she went on to say, "Well, Bethany, we got the report back from your mammogram, and it came back positive." And I was like, positive? Positive as in positive or positive as in not good? She said, positive in that you positively have cancer. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is not good. She went on to say, well, you actually have 8 tumors and one of them's really big. And I was like, what in the world is going on? I mean, anyway, it was Labor Day weekend. It was a Friday. She said, okay, on Tuesday, I want you to call for an appointment with an oncologist. I was like, oncologist? What's an oncologist? It's a cancer doctor, she said. I was just like, what in the world? I hung up and I was like, Scott and I were just like, we were in horror and the boys were in the other room. Mind you, we were on vacation. So we decided just to keep this vacation going because really there was nothing we could do until that following Tuesday because it was Labor Day weekend. So, and we really didn't want to make anything seem like it was wrong for the kids' sake. And I remember thinking, this is so strange. I am full of cancer and I feel fine. This is the weirdest thing. It was just horrible. Well, anyway, the horror didn't stop there. We headed down to Portland, Oregon, down the 5 there, and we stayed in this Residence Inn. It had 2 floors on it, and I had my socks on, and I was heading down the stairs, and I lost my footing, and I tried to hold onto the railing, but the force of the railing and my body fell down, and my arm actually moved all the way back. I fell all the way down the stairs. I blacked out. Turns out, I was rushed to the ER. Turns out, I had torn my rotator cuff. Needless to say, I could not wait to get home. And I got home Tuesday, set up the appointment with the oncologist. The oncologist met with us and she said, it doesn't look good. It's advanced, stage 3. I realized I was on the fight of my life. PET scans, chemo, double mastectomy, all that stuff began. Unfortunately, I had all these complications that a lot of chemo patients get. I had my tear ducts closed. I had surgery on that. My fingernails turned black. And then they were like, how in the world are they going to do surgery when my rotator cuff can't move? It was crazy, crazy, crazy. Scott, he was incredible. He was so supportive through this whole thing. I remember Scott and I were driving one day and I started crying and saying things like, I don't want to be part of that pink club. I don't want to be part of that group. And he was very sternly, he looked at me and he said, Beth, I don't want to hear that. You wear the pink club badge with honor. He always knew what to say. He came to every doctor appointment, every chemo drip. He just rocked it. He even hid the medical bills from me. He knew I couldn't handle them at the time. Yes, we're the money couple, and Scott hid bills from me. Anyway. Well, all that is to say that many people have asked us about the boys, and it was really, really hard because they were so little. I mean, 3 and 5, they were so young. I remember one night we were in dinner and we had to explain to them that I had to have some medicine that was going to help me get better. But what happens is my hair is going to come out. But don't worry, it's going to grow back. Holy smokes, they both started bawling. I mean, bawling. Scott and I looked at each other and we were like, what in the world? And why are they so upset about this? So I asked them, I said, guys, what's wrong? Cole, he said, Mom, how are people going to know where we got our red hair? Oh, it's just heartbreaking. Scott and I just sat there in shock. We just never thought about that. The whole thing, like I said, heartbreaking. Now, around day 21, I was warned that my hair was going to fall out. That was about the day. And sure enough, that day, your head is actually on fire. It's the weirdest thing. You actually want your hair to come out. It hurts so bad. So I told Scott that night, I said, tonight's the night. Let's make it fun. All right, so Scott started to shave my head and frankly did a terrible job. So we all hopped in the car and headed to Supercuts. And we made it really fun. Scott got his done. Cole got a mohawk. Cade got what we called a faux hawk because he didn't want a mohawk. It was really cute. I felt so supported. I mean, the love was just overwhelming. And I remember one night I woke up and I was like telling Scott, I said, honey, I just feel people are praying for us. I just did. I felt so supported. My sister-in-law, she coordinated 188 meals for us from people we didn't even know over months. It was just, we felt so loved. Now, my cancer was really, really advanced and it was a really aggressive form of breast cancer. I had to, have all this treatment, and if I would have been diagnosed only 11 years before, I wouldn't be here. I had a kind of discovery drip that they called Herceptin. And what Herceptin does is it stops it from growing. It doesn't kill the cancer like the chemo does, but just stops it from growing because mine was so advanced. And I just can't believe that I'm here. If it weren't for that cancer research, I wouldn't be here. And I'm just so thankful for it. So anyway, organizations like Susan G. Komen, without generous organizations like that and generous giving to research, I wouldn't be here. So just a side note, if you feel led, please, please, please donate, because the amazing research and treatments that they're discovering are helping people like myself stay alive. It's just amazing. Now, I don't want to go on and on about all the complications and things, but you want to know what? The very first time I went in to confirm that I was cancer-free, I found out that I had thyroid cancer. Can you believe that? I thought Scott was going to lose it. He had been so strong during the whole time. There's a few times in my married life when I've seen him cry. He was just so tired and sick of another cancer, another surgery. Really? Anyway, I ended up having to have my thyroid out. It was just crazy. So the doctor, after you get your thyroid out, they send it back to the lab. He sent it back to the lab 6 times because the thyroid came back cancer-free. Can you believe that? I told him, I said, God healed me. He thought I was a little cuckoo, but you know what? I believe to this day that that was true. So I thought after this thyroid and all this stuff, chemo and everything, that I would just get back to normal pretty quick. But you know what? It took me 5 years to feel completely better. 5 freaking years. I got sick all the time. My immune system was just shot. I had to take these medicines that would make my joints really hurt. I would get UTIs all the time. I just wanted to stop being sick. Then research came out after I was starting to feel a little better that I needed to take this medicine 8 years instead of 5. Are you kidding me? Arg! It was really, really tough. But today I feel great. Breast cancer is finally starting to be in my past, and I'm so thankful for that. I recently went on a mission trip to Russia. I remember being there and thinking, oh Lord, I'm just so thankful to be alive and experiencing this. This experience, this whole cancer experience hasn't been easy, but I've learned a lot of things. I've learned to accept people's generosity. I've learned that I need to seize each and every opportunity God puts before me, and He's good all the time. And I need to hug my wonderful husband and my 2 boys a little bit harder than I did before. Well, there you go, our cancer story. Please give to support research. And ladies and gentlemen, please get those mammograms, colon tests, prostate tests. Don't procrastinate. Do not procrastinate. Thank you for listening. Thank you for caring. And hey, if you need encouragement, support, or input about your journey, would you reach out? I would really love it. Please, I'd love to help in any way that I can. Just email me at scottandbethany@themoneycouple.com. And blessings to you.